If you're a Christian business owner trying to increase your impact, increase your revenue, but stay true to your values, you're not sure how AI fits into all this, then this video is for you. Today, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why AI isn't just another tech trend, but actually one of the most God-honoring moves you can make in your business today. Whether you're running a roofing company, a med spa, a law firm, if you're running a high-ticket service company, then this message here is for you. I too am a believer, and the most important question to me every single day is basically, how do I glorify the Lord? How's the Lord glorified in my life? As a business owner, like you, obviously that means, how do I glorify God in my business? How do I glorify God when I'm working with people? How do I glorify God in the services that I'm providing for other people? Because these are the most important things. I'm like, yes, I want to make money. I want to have impact. I want to have X, Y, Z, but it all comes within the context if I want to glorify the Lord. So I commiserate with this, and as we're walking into the biggest tech revolution of our age, I want to be a part of helping Christian business owners know how to navigate that, think about that, and then implement AI practically in their business to achieve values in line with the Lord and to impact people, to impact culture, to impact society in positive ways, and that help bring the kingdom of God and make it manifest on this planet so that people can know what God is like. The first reason I'm going to talk to you about is the stewardship of time. If you're all concerned about stewarding your time well, utilizing it well, being able to sow into the areas that matter most and bring the most impact, then this is a specific one we have to talk about when it comes to AI. Because similar to, we could use a handsaw to cut a bunch of wood. And it's like, yeah, it worked. It was great, got the job done. But if you had access to the handsaw and to the electric chainsaw, it doesn't make any sense at all to use the handsaw if you're all concerned about maximizing impact, because you can just accomplish way, 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 way more with the same amount of work, the same amount of time. And basically the same is true of AI now. AI is just a tool that you can use. It's not a sentient being. It doesn't have imagination. It is still zeros and ones that's analyzing things, taking bends in the in the maze that is thought. And AI can do essentially, right? We can put in 1 and get out 100. That's what AI can do. So if you're running around, right, like spending a bunch of time on drafting emails, spending a bunch of time on answering calls, FAQs, menial tasks that are low level, AI can do it and can do it way, way faster. Reason number 2 is excellence in service. What happens if your team's too busy, too overstretched, and you're having a hard time responding to leads? You forget to call somebody back, somebody falls through the cracks, they go on to another business because they didn't feel seen, they didn't feel cared about, or taken care of well. What AI can do is now actually let you make sure every single one of those people that reach out to you for service gets consistent, similar service every single time, gets it fast, no matter what's going on with your team or the tasks that are on your team's plate, rather than just having a thing of like, oh, let life happen to you and what happened and etc., or the person's calling a little bit after hours, all these different things. AI can now 24/7 make sure every single one of your clients gets reached out to, gets the answers to questions that they need, gets booked in with your team, and done consistently. So it's not like, oh, they call up Johnny, Johnny answers the phone, and Johnny has an off day and they don't get as good service. AI can deliver as good service every single time, and it's constantly learning and implementing it faster than human teams can. Why do I even bring up excellence of service? I bring it up because of Colossians, right? That passage that says, do whatever you do, do with all your heart as if working for the Lord. Excellence in service is a value that a lot of us have as Christians because it flows from the fact of like, who is the Lord, and the Lord, how do we manifest his nature in the earth and on the planet? Reason number 3, protecting your mission, your calling from burnout. It's really easy when you're in the grind of getting a business up and off the ground, keeping the wheels of a business going, and you're in charge of that because you're the business owner. It's really easy to get to the point of burnout because you don't feel like you can rest. You're working way past, you're working crazy work days. Sometimes you're working on the weekends. Sometimes you even feel like you need to work on Sundays. You might need to skip church. It makes it harder to be with your family. And over time, this adds up and it burns you out. You can't even show up for your family the way you need to because all you're doing is you're pouring all your strength and your work into keeping your business going so that you can pay your bills, so that you can feed your children, which is super important, which we all want to do, but we also want to be with our family and protect ourselves from burnout is an important part of that. And again, AI is something where it's not dependent on manual effort putting in the thing. So think about if you're going to go run a race and there's no end to that race. It just goes and it goes and it goes and it goes. At some point, you're going to burn out and you're going to crash if you don't get to stop and rest. But take that away, suddenly jump in a car, and besides the fact that it can get you there faster, it can just keep driving and driving and driving and driving. Obviously, you have to stop for gas, but it's not like a human where it's like, okay, you got to conk out for the night, you know? To live out the call of God on your life, you have to be living, you have to actually be able to give yourself to it. Burnout is not conducive to actually fulfilling the call of God on your life. AI protects from that, allows rest, and allows us to actually impact more and do more than we ever could without it. Reason number 4 is that AI lets you multiply impact without compromising your values. Think about, for example, if you were to hire a sales assistant and implement them in your business, you would train them, you would tell them about your heart, you would teach them what is most important to you and have them always emphasize that in all interactions with the customers. This is the same thing with AI. AI is actually enabling you to scale your systems while having it all still reflect who you are and your brand and your mission and what you're trying to accomplish, what's on your heart, because the Lord's given that to you. It lets you do this and scale that without losing the integrity. Because actually, AI is easier to teach that stuff to than a person. And we'll get into the person thing in a second, because I know this is actually one of the main areas that we as Christians are concerned about, is people losing their jobs because of AI. So reason number 5 is actually connected to that, is that AI isn't about replacing people, it's about empowering people. Probably unanimously, I'd say the thing people are scared most about with AI is that a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs. And this is the thing that makes people want to stay away from AI, because they don't want to replace their friends, their family, or even if it's not a friend or a family level of worker that's in your business, it's just somebody that you hired, but you don't want to put them out of work rather than having, when they could just be doing the job and you could be paying them. And there's actually multiple reasons within this reason about why this is not the way to be thinking about it. If you look back through time at the history of technological evolution in America and globally or whatever, every time there's this big technological innovation and something can now be done by a machine or some kind of assembly line or whatever that used to be done by people, a bunch of people go out of work. But here's the deal. Overall, every single one of those technological evolutions was actually better for humankind as a whole in terms of being able to produce enough for all of us to have enough. Abundance is achieved through technology. Abundance becomes easier and easier as technology gets better and better. So overall, it's actually better for the whole human race. So what's going to happen now as AI basically take on the capabilities to do things that so up until now people have been having to do? By 2030, I think the stat is that about 50% of positions are expected to be eliminated from the workforce because they can now be done by AI more efficiently than they can be done by humans. You're like, wow, all those people are out of work. I'm telling you, this is not the way to think about it. We have to, if we're going to be vision-oriented people, led by what is possible, led by hope, and led by what God is doing on the earth, that is not how we can afford to think about it, because it is actually better for the entire human race. Lack is only a product of disconnection. On the other side of connection, on the other side of unity, every single person on the planet has enough. And if we, as Christians, want to be a part of being visionary, like leadership is needed more than ever before. Culture is going to shift massively over the next few years, and it's business owners and politicians that are primarily, these two spheres are going to be a huge piece of this. Obviously, technological sphere, because it's all coming out of technology, but right now in terms of how that affects people in the day-to-day out there in the world, it's going to be business owners and politics that shapes what our future is like because of AI. Because obviously politics is the policymakers, but business owners are the ones that are creating the jobs in the economy in which people are working. And what AI does is AI actually is going to empower us to accomplish visions that hitherto were totally impossible. So what I want you to think about is this. You have options in front of you. One of them is utilize AI to do something that your people are doing, but you promote them out of that. You actually believe in them and help expand their capacity, expand their education, so that they can actually step into a role that they hitherto would not have been able to step into. For example, because AI brings peace and margin and more revenue into your business. So on the low level, if you've got somebody answering phone calls and they're basically talking with customers, answering frequently asked questions, with an AI who can do that just as well as a human and actually bring in more revenue because of it, then now you can take this person, and instead of just firing this person, you want to keep them in your business, you love them, you believe in their capabilities, use some of the margin created by the extra revenue by the AI, put this person through further education to get them above where the skill level was before, right? Have them take a course, have them get some coaching, whatever that is, to actually promote them into a higher level thing that requires a human, that requires a greater level of skill set. So you don't actually have to fire them. It can actually be a massive empowerment to your employees. Or you can choose not to use AI at all. But what's happening? It's going to become harder and harder for your business to succeed. It's not that it won't be possible. It'll always be possible. I'm not going to say that businesses can't succeed without AI. But similar to, let's take the Amish, for example. Those communities live and can live and don't need to use greater technology, but it's an intentional choice, and they have to surround themselves with a community of like-minded people. Business owners will be able to do that as well, but it's going to be a minority, because if you're in the mainstream culture, you're going to be fighting totally uphill against businesses that have the power to do way more than you because they're utilizing AI. So if you're going to stay, you can either withdraw into doing your own thing, sort of like the Amish community, or what you can do is stay mainstream, but it's got to be an intentional choice at that point. At that point, if you're using humans to do something that AI could have done before, it has got to be a part of your branding and marketing. It will not work. It will not work if you want to be mainstream to just have it not be an intentional part of your branding just because you don't want to use AI. You're going to be so far, you're going to have to be so incredibly excellent at everything else in any place that you're using a human instead of AI if it's not a part of your branding. So then what is your other option? Your other option is to actually hire the AI and fire the person. Firing people is not necessarily a bad thing to do for them. And hear me out on this. It's really easy for people to get stuck in life situations where, or supported in or empowered to do something that is not actually the most beneficial for them just because it's comfortable. A lot of people want to do things and distract themselves from the pain of living by actually doing something mundane and routine because it brings them comfort. It's not the fullness of their capacity, it's not challenging to them, and that thing doesn't actually have value in and of itself. So basically, use this example, right? I think there's always space for charitable employment that is essentially Grandma Sally, I don't know, doing something at the nursing home or being employed to the front office when really she's not doing anything that you could do without her. But it's like, okay, it might give her some dignity, some sense of purpose, sense of being part of something, even if that task itself could be easily accomplished in another way. If you want to do that, awesome. But we can't do that for 50% of the population. And 50% of the population doesn't need that. Some people need that because they're actually in a place, whether it's physically or just age-wise and aptitude and capacity, are not at the place where they're going to be able to grow into doing something that is fully needed and valuable. That's the minority of people. Other people, sometimes we coddle them when they actually need to grow and have the capacity as believers to have a greater impact on the earth and step more and more into their God-given design and destiny. So in that space, we're actually, hear me out on this, it's a kind of tough love to let them go and let AI come in so that they can go and learn and figure out how to be a contributing part of society in this world. As Christians, we're supposed to be contributing parts of society. So here's my thing. Rather than refuse to use AI because you're protecting their jobs and your business eventually going under, and they're not prepped for going out into the world, and you're going to be forced to let them go and under less favorable circumstances. If you're actually bringing in AI, which is supporting your business, creating more margin for your business, you have all the time in the world you need and want to warn them that they're going to have to be let go, to help them transition well, have the support they need, give them a severance package that gives them the time to look for and find other jobs. Even a severance package that includes them going through an AI training course. I don't know, like we have to enter a higher level of creativity about how to do this well so that we're not coddling people in the name of love when it's not actually serving them, it's not serving us, it's not serving the mission that the Lord has given us. I'm going to unpack this more in future videos. This is enough for this one. So I hope you find this helpful, these 5 reasons why believers should be utilizing AI. It's actually God honoring. It helps empower the mission and what he's called us to. AI is like a hammer. It's just a tool. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad, but there's plenty of positive reasons about why we have to actually get in there, use it, and utilize it, because it's going to be used, and we can either choose to be left behind or to actually enter and engage in it. But if you want to be engaged in the mainstream cultural stuff that's happening and have your business flourish, then we need to be engaged with AI. We have to start thinking creatively. We have to start thinking imaginatively. We have to start thinking abundantly, all things in line with the kingdom to actually glorify the Lord and make known what he is like. If you want to practically know how AI can impact your business or how to utilize it, what we do here, you can schedule a call right down below. Link will be in the description. I will personally get on a call with you, do a free discovery call. What me and my business do is we custom tailor an AI system to your business to work 24/7 around the clock on your behalf to make sure none of your leads ever escape, ever fall through the cracks. So we'll increase your revenue, we'll bring you peace of mind, bring you margin, we'll help you put you in a place where you can scale with ease without having to hire a bunch more people. And I would love to talk to you more about that. So sign up for a call below. Talk to you soon.